been literally dragging Simone. Y'all have been dragging Cecil by his beard hairs. And then the craziest of all of you guys.
Y'all, she laid it all bare. Dr. Simone has finally spoken out, and nothing about her family will ever look the same again. For years, she shouldered everything: the high-end lifestyle, elite schooling, constant sacrifices, sleepless nights, and crushing financial pressure. But behind the walls of her grand home, turmoil was quietly growing. Her husband, Cecil Whitmore, was not the man the public thought he was. What she revealed stunned everyone. Cecil had been secretly entangled with Dr. Jackie for years, a concealed relationship that destroyed trust and ripped apart the core of her marriage. And as if that revelation wasn't devastating enough, the betrayal cut even deeper. Her own son, Michael, who had already charged nearly $60,000 to her credit card, kept pushing for more. Expensive cars, unlimited privileges, and no accountability. He took advantage of the disorder, empowered by his father's dishonesty, turning his mother's kindness into a direct attack on her peace of mind. The woman who gave her all, who carried her family through everything, was forced to confront a brutal truth. Her life, her sacrifices, and her love had been used, taken for granted, and disrespected by those she trusted the most. Dr. Simone didn't sugarcoat a single thing. She laid out every secret rendezvous, every deception, every concealed message, putting Cecil and Michael on full display for the world.
In high school, right, I got the Jeep, boom, Jeep was cool. But now we're starting to teeter towards Jeep not being so cool.
Buckle up. What you're about to hear will completely stun you. Dr. Simone has finally broken her silence, and what she revealed goes far beyond anything the public ever expected. For years, she carried her household on her back, making sacrifices that seemed impossible, funding elite schooling, luxury vehicles, and a lifestyle most people could only fantasize about. Every aspect of her children's lives, every advantage they were given, came from her tireless dedication. But beneath the shine and surface-level perfection, a storm was forming, one fueled by betrayal, dishonesty, and devastating emotional fallout. Cecil Whitmore, the man she trusted and built a future with, had been leading a double existence. A long-running, hidden relationship with Dr. Jackie had unfolded over years, concealed behind smiles, courteous exchanges, and hollow reassurances. The scale of the betrayal was overwhelming. Each lie Cecil told, every concealed text, every secret encounter slowly ate away at the foundation of their marriage. Dr. Simone describes the endless nights she spent questioning why her husband felt distant, why her concerns were met with avoidance, why trust slipped away without warning. That silence, that emotional withdrawal, was never accidental. It was a shield protecting a relationship that was destroying her life from within. And just when it seems like the damage couldn't deepen, there's Michael, her own son. Michael had already piled nearly $60,000 onto her credit card, a burden that barely scratched the surface. But the real issue wasn't just money. It was entitlement, nerve, and a complete rejection of accountability. Michael exploited the disorder created by his father's secret life, using it to justify his demands, to chase more luxuries, to convince himself he deserved a life without boundaries. Dr. Simone tried to enforce limits, tried to teach discipline, tried to secure her own future, but every effort was dismissed or challenged. The son who should have understood gratitude instead turned chaos into leverage, accelerating the collapse of the family she fought desperately to protect. What makes Dr. Simone's account so jarring is the level of detail. Every covert meeting, every whispered falsehood, every hidden message between Cecil and Dr. Jackie is now exposed. She explained how Cecil moved in secrecy, guarded his phone, pretended to be present while actively deceiving her. The boldness of it all feels unreal, like a carefully written drama meant to devastate. But this isn't a storyline. It's her reality, her home, her heart, and it's been shattered in ways few can comprehend. The emotional weight never lets up. Dr. Simone speaks with unfiltered honesty that cuts straight through. She recounts the pain of realizing the man she chose as a partner, the father of her children, had spent years systematically dismantling trust. This wasn't a single mistake, it was a pattern of deception. The fallout has been enormous. Her marriage was beyond repair, and the family environment she carefully built had been overtaken by lies and greed. The scandal doesn't end with Cecil. Michael's actions add another tragic layer. Recklessly using his mother's hard-earned resources, he became part of an entrenched culture of entitlement within the household. Every extravagant purchase, every swipe of her card, every demand for more reinforced the painful truth that those she loved most failed to honor her sacrifices. Dr. Simone tried to teach, to guide, to instill responsibility, but her efforts were met with indifference and expectation. Michael's self-centeredness wasn't just financial, it was ethical, emotional, and psychological, further unraveling the family's core. What gives Dr. Simone's story its power is the blend of betrayal and exposure. She didn't disappear quietly, she revealed it all. The world now sees the depth of Cecil's affair, the methods he used to Dr. Simone's decision to bring everything into the light sent immediate shockwaves. Her home, once a place of comfort, turned into a battleground. Every exchange, every look, every passing comment felt loaded with judgment. Michael, her son, had long lived a life of excess, indulgence, and little accountability, but now his behavior stood out even more starkly. He had grown used to endless privilege, protected by his father's dishonesty and fueled by his mother's generosity. Dr. Simone described, with unsettling clarity, how Michael took advantage of the disorder, pushing limits with an entitlement that was almost brazen. The nearly $60,000 he spent was just the surface. Underneath lay emotional manipulation, a lack of responsibility, and a refusal to acknowledge the harm he was inflicting on his family's core. The strain between mother and son intensified to an almost unbearable level. Dr. Simone, who had devoted her life to nurturing and providing, was forced to accept that love alone couldn't undo the damage. Michael's expectations never eased, and his disregard for boundaries mirrored the betrayal surrounding him. Every luxury vehicle, every extravagant purchase, every indulgence he assumed was owed to him underscored a painful truth. Entitlement had been allowed to grow unchecked, Cecil's secrecy had empowered it, and deception had quietly become normalized within the home. Cecil's response to being exposed was a blend of deflection, embarrassment, and strategy. He tried to minimize the affair, framing it as confusion, isolated errors, or misunderstandings blown out of proportion. But Dr. Simone had proof, messages, emails, documented encounters that told a story impossible to dismiss. Each disclosure struck like a blow to an already fragile structure. Online reaction was immediate and intense. The public was shocked by the scale of the dishonesty. Supporters praised Dr. Simone's bravery, while others focused on the scandal itself, the affair, the fractured father-son dynamic, and the ethical collapse playing out in real time. The discussion spread worldwide, holding audiences captive with a story that felt almost unreal in its intensity. Emotionally, the toll on Dr. Simone was immense. She grieved the marriage she believed in, the trust she placed in Cecil, and the heartbreak of realizing her own child's values had been distorted by years of excess without consequence. She spoke of restless nights, pacing through quiet halls, replaying conversations, wondering where it all unraveled, and confronting the painful truth that her family's foundation had been exploited. Her steady yet piercing voice carried the weight of being both the one betrayed and the witness to her family's collapse. As the situation deepened, Dr. Jackie's involvement came under sharper scrutiny. Known for maintaining a polished professional image, she emerged as a key figure in this emotional disaster. Dr. Simone explained that Jackie's role wasn't brief or casual, it was sustained, intentional, and deeply damaging. Each covert meeting, every private conversation, every hidden interaction had consequences that extended beyond infidelity, shaping family dynamics, encouraging Michael's recklessness, and creating an environment where manipulation thrived. The exposure cut deep on a personal level. Dr. Simone described family meals that felt like interrogations, confrontations where silence spoke louder than words, and moments when she had to gather every bit of strength to stand firm against years of manipulation and deceit. Cecil's attempts to justify, charm, or soften the situation only emphasized how the strain that had quietly built beneath the surface finally erupted into an open, unavoidable clash. Dr. Simone, having laid bare Cecil's infidelity and Michael's sense of entitlement, made it clear she wasn't finished. She demanded responsibility, not just through promises, but through behavior, financial discipline, and emotional honesty inside her home. What had once been a space filled with unspoken tension became an arena of moral reckoning, where buried truths and long-held resentment surged into the open. Cecil cycled through shock, irritation, and self-defense. Each effort to downplay his relationship with Dr. Jackie only underscored how deep his deception truly ran. Dr. Simone responded with unwavering clarity, producing proof piece by piece, months of text exchanges, emails exposing secret meetups, and accounts that erased any doubt about years of dishonesty. As clips spread online, the public watched a man lose the mask he had worn for so long, his carefully polished image of loyalty collapsing in full view. Michael, now facing consequences for both his reckless spending and his lack of moral awareness, reacted with anger and resistance. The $60,000 taken from his mother's credit card was merely the beginning. Dr. Simone made it evident that he had been raised in an environment where entitlement was excused, manipulation tolerated, and responsibility routinely avoided. With his father's betrayal exposed, Michael was forced to confront a reality he had never faced before. Privilege was not guaranteed, and indulgence was not a right. The defiance once overlooked could no longer be defended. The emotional intensity grew as Dr. Simone explained how Cecil's choices had destabilized the family psychologically and financially. Her voice, composed yet heavy with emotion, carried years of buried pain, frustration, and disillusionment. She spoke of nights spent awake, struggling to reconcile the man she married with the man revealed before her, someone who chose secrecy over faithfulness, control over honesty, and excess over integrity. Each disclosure landed with force, reshaping the household's ethical foundation in real time. Cecil's attempts to rationalize unraveled under documented proof. With every word, Dr. Simone illustrated how his actions had created a ripple effect. Trust eroded, dishonesty normalized, and entitlement cultivated in their son. What had once been a household defined by comfort and provision became a contested space where truth and accountability were the only measures that mattered. The impact reached far beyond their walls. Social media erupted as footage of Dr. Simone's confrontation spread rapidly. Analysts and viewers examined every betrayal, financial misstep, and moral lapse. The intensity of the moment drew people in not as idle gossip, but as a reflection on human behavior, parental sacrifice, and the fallout of unchecked privilege. Dr. Simone's resolve to take her life back was unwavering. Her demands weren't rooted in revenge, but in survival. Each interaction with Cecil became a test of accountability. Every conversation with Michael centered on consequence, responsibility, and ethical development. A home once marked by secrecy and indulgence transformed into a space defined by structure and moral clarity. Financial reform was unavoidable. Dr. Simone imposed firm control over all accounts, budgets, and spending. The era of unlimited access ended, replaced by measurable responsibility. Michael, confronted with real consequences for the first time, began to experience the realities of accountability. His resistance was immediate, but the boundaries set by Dr. Simone left no room for evasion or manipulation. Emotionally, the confrontation was just as severe. Dr. Simone compelled Cecil to face not only what he had done, but what it had cost: trust lost, bonds fractured, and a household compromised at its core. Each truth she revealed dismantled the illusions he had relied on for years. There was no hiding behind charm, delay, or denial anymore. Every falsehood had been exposed. Michael's reckoning was equally difficult. The comfort he once assumed was replaced with firm limits that challenged his entitlement. Dr. Simone's approach was relentless: clear consequences, structured boundaries, and emotional accountability designed to confront both his behavior and the damage caused by his father's betrayal. The family dynamic shifted sharply, exposing the contrast between indulgence and discipline, dishonesty and truth, disorder and structure. The affair with Dr. Jackie, once concealed, became a symbol of the wider dysfunction within the family. Dr. Simone explained how a single act of betrayal triggered a chain reaction that disrupted every aspect of their lives. The moral void created by secrecy and excess had allowed entitlement to flourish. Addressing it required strength, honesty, and an uncompromising commitment to integrity. As the story continued to circulate online, millions followed closely. Commentators and viewers debated the ethical implications, examining each revelation, financial decision, and emotional fracture. What unfolded became a viral case study in betrayal, failed boundaries, and the consequences of moral compromise. Dr. Simone emphasized that her actions were driven by necessity, not spite. By exposing Cecil, confronting Michael, and enforcing systemic change, she reclaimed control over her life, her finances, and her home. The confrontation was raw, intense, and final, a woman asserting authority over the fallout of betrayal, a household being reshaped under moral scrutiny, and a family forced to face the cost of deception and entitlement. In the end, Dr. Simone's journey stands as a testament to resilience, accountability, and ethical strength. The public witnessed a mother navigating betrayal, financial chaos, and moral collapse, yet emerging with purpose and resolve. By exposing Cecil's affair and challenging Michael's entitlement, she turned her home into a crucible of truth. The story captivated millions, leaving audiences stunned by its emotional weight and the boldness of her stand. This chapter of her life, defined by confrontation and clarity, reshaped the meaning of family. It proved that betrayal and entitlement do not exist without consequence, that silence sustains dysfunction, and that reclaiming personal power demands courage and truth. For Dr. Simone, the path from exposure to empowerment became more than a personal victory. It became a viral reminder of the strength found in honesty, resilience, and moral conviction when deception is finally brought into the light. Brace yourself, because what you just saw isn't merely a story, it's a reckoning. Dr. Simone didn't simply uncover betrayal. She ripped away the curtain from a home sustained by deception, entitlement, and secrecy. Cecil's long-running dishonesty, Dr. Jackie's role, and Michael's unchecked excess weren't small controversies. They were slow-burning explosives, eroding trust and dismantling lives one choice at a time. Every dollar misused, every quiet lie, every boundary ignored led directly to this moment of exposure. This is where silence collided with truth, privilege collided with accountability, and one woman decided her life, her family, and her self-respect would no longer be sacrificed to deception. The world witnessed what happens when a mother reaches her breaking point, when endurance becomes determination, when sacrifice is no longer confused with weakness. Dr. Simone's stand sends a clear warning to anyone who believes betrayal can stay buried, entitlement can run free, or manipulation can exist without repercussions. Deception no longer has a safe hiding place. Everyone watching understands what's truly at risk: emotional devastation, financial collapse, and moral decay concealed behind a flawless image. This isn't idle talk, it's a framework for awareness, responsibility, and survival. You saw a family driven to the brink, a household torn apart, and a woman standing firm in the face of overwhelming betrayal. Exposed truths don't just shock, they shift viewpoints, challenge complacency, and demand accountability. Share this, talk about it, question it, because what Dr. Simone revealed goes far beyond her own story. This isn't idle talk, it's a framework for awareness, responsibility, and survival. You saw a family driven to the brink, a household torn apart, and a woman standing firm in the face of overwhelming betrayal. Exposed truths don't just shock, they shift viewpoints, challenge complacency, and demand accountability. Share this, talk about it, question it, because what Dr. Simone revealed goes far beyond her own story. It's a warning for us all. Pay attention, because betrayal, entitlement, and lies always come at a cost, and sometimes the only path forward is to stand your ground, raise your voice, and take your power back before it's too late. The real question isn't whether the world saw it, it's whether anyone will learn from it.